What's up, Moon? Appreciate you tapping in. What's up, everybody? I hope everyone is doing well today. We're gonna get started in a few. Just give the opportunity for more people to come on in here. What's up, self-love? And that's important right there. Self-love, absolutely. Absolutely. Give yourself that self-love. Give yourself that self-love. Share some information with some people. Oh my gosh. Wee. What's up, G? Appreciate you tapping in. Come on in, everybody. Come on. What's up, Silent? What's up, Deborah? Appreciate you guys tapping in. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Please share the live. Please share the live. And hit that like button, y'all. Share the live and hit that like button. We're going to talk today. We're not going to get as deep as last week. I know I was talking about fear, why, trauma, and some other things. But we're not gonna get that deep today. But we are gonna talk about two tickers that I will be watching specifically. What's up, Merlees? Appreciate you tapping in. Another two tickers that I have put on my watch list that I'm planning on jumping in and doing some leaps on. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about that. Let's see, we're at 11:18 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna get started around 11:25. I just want to give some more people time to tap in. Kind of low on volume on YouTube. I probably need to get a little closer. My apologies. Appreciate the heads up on that. Is that a little better, Silent? Let me know. What's up, Luke? Appreciate you tapping in. What's up, Lisa? Appreciate you tapping in. Let me know if that volume works for you, Silent. All right, cool. All right, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate the heads up on that. Because I won't know until you guys tell me, so thank you for letting me know that. Actually, what I need to do is get a mic. I actually was looking at one, but I never followed through with it. But I do need to get a mic, especially for the sake of the audio, because I want to make sure that everything I say, you guys can hear, right? I don't want you guys to miss any of the information that I share with you guys. All right, cool. Thank you, Lou. Get myself some water because we're gonna start cooking in another 6 minutes. I just want to give some more people some more time to tap in. All right. And as you can see on the screen, I'm looking at Amazon, and I'm gonna talk about Amazon too. So I'm gonna talk about 2 tickets that I'm watching, and then I'm gonna talk about Amazon. Actually, then I'm gonna talk about Tesla because I'm actually in some Tesla calls right now. Right now, Tesla is hovering around 302. Earlier, it was just above 303. And I was actually at 74%, but I'm gonna talk more on that a little later. Luke, I see that you're looking to be on stage. Was that by accident? Because if so, I have no problem bringing you up top, brother. So let me know. Let me know. All right, we're gonna have 4 minutes, and then we're gonna jump right in. Okay, cool. All right, got you. Got you. Yo, what's up, Myra? Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. So I gotta tell you guys, I am a little under the weather today, but that's nothing, right? This isn't gonna stop me from getting to the bag. That's for sure. That is for sure. Overall, overall, Maya, I am doing amazing. But I felt a little bug trying to catch me earlier, probably like Sunday. But I started taking care, started taking some things to get my body where it needs to be, so it can start that fight, right? So, but I'm all right though. I'm here, and it's one thing I do. I do believe in pushing through, right? You got to push through no matter what you're going through, because guess what? Guess what's waiting for you on the other side? Success. Whether it's in the market, whether it's in life, whether it's relationships, or whatever, you choose the category. But you gotta push through, right? All right, 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna get started. Again, I just want to give some more people time to tap in, because I know some people are starting their lunch at 11, depending on where you're located. Thank you. I appreciate your prayers. Appreciate you. There's one thing I never let a cold get me down, right? Because you just gotta push through. So I definitely appreciate your prayers. So how are you guys doing today? If you are feeling amazing, let me get those ones in the chat. On YouTube and on IG, let me get those ones in the chat if you are feeling amazing. Right? Did you guys have a wonderful 4th? There we go. There you go. Love it, love it. Let's see those ones, y'all. See those ones. What's up, The Real? Appreciate you tapping in. We're gonna get started in 2 minutes. But let me see those ones if you are feeling amazing. Right? Because I need everybody's energy in here. I need everybody's energy in here to help push me through today. I want to see those ones. Let me see those ones if you are feeling amazing. There's one thing I pride myself on, and that's whatever room I'm in, that I curate a vibe of people just feeling amazing. So I want to see those ones. Let me see those ones. All 10 fingers still intact. Man, I heard some stories about folks getting themselves in trouble with those fireworks over the weekend, man. Yeah, you can't play with that stuff, man. It ain't meant for you to hold and light. I don't understand why people even thought that was a good idea. The sole purpose is for you to set it down, light it, and then back off. But who am I? I've seen some situations where people like to light stuff and throw it at other people. I would never understand that part, but it is what it is. Some people find fun in different things, right? So, but anywho, glad to see some folks had an amazing Fourth. I know I definitely did. Spent some QT with the family, so definitely enjoyed myself. What's up, LX2? Appreciate you tapping in. All right, so we are going to get started, right? I wanted to give it some time to let some people come in because I didn't want to have to repeat myself because that's not what we're here for, right? We want to just keep giving, keep moving forward. But I don't have a problem repeating myself. I just think it's a lot to cover. And then, how I like to have you guys give me some tickers, and so I can go over those tickers and give you my perspective. So that's why I just wanted to give a little time to let some people tap in. All right, so like I said, it's now 11:25, actually 26, so we're going to get started. So first I want to talk about Amazon, right? I know a lot of people have been positioning themselves for Amazon, right? And what people really need to understand when it comes to playing in this market, you got to understand what a catalyst event is, okay? And if you are not familiar with what a catalyst event is, it is simply put a big event, right? Anything that's going to impact the ticker, the stock price, right? So let's say, for example, earnings, a catalyst event, right? In this case, Prime Week, a catalyst event, right? Lawsuits, right? Investigations, acquisitions, like the list goes on and on and on. Those are considered catalyst events, and they will impact the stock price, right? So, because some people already understood that leading up to Prime Week, they want to ride that momentum, right? I was speaking with someone the other day. I'm sorry, not the other day. Actually, earlier, I was having a conversation about Amazon, and they've been moving up since May 29th. So folks already positioned themselves since the end of May. And let's look at it, right? Let's go to the daily. So it's right here. Actually, further back. April, Monday, April 21st, Amazon has been moving up since then. Since April 21st, and here we are, July 8th, right? Because folks understood that Prime Week was coming. So if you positioned and got in around 165 with some change, and you rode it all the way up to, let's say, 223.96, man, kudos to you. If you bought shares, dope. If you played options, even better. I don't know what that percentage would look like, but I'm sure it's well above 500%, right? Because, man, maybe even over 1,000%, from 165.41 all the way up to around 224.29, or even where it's sitting at right now at 219.58, 219 and some change. You would have smoked it. Smoked it, absolutely smoked it, right? So if you decided to do this from a day trade perspective, guess what? You could have rode it up from, it opened up at 223, reached a high of 224 flat, right? And And look where it's sitting now, 219.67. Right? That's it. Simple. What's up, Evie? Appreciate you tapping in. Real simple, right? So again, if you played Amazon starting back in April and you understood that Prime Week was coming, right? And then not only Prime Week, we had earnings, right? Earnings was May 1st. So I'm sure some folks played just for the sake of earnings. And if you played for the sake of earnings, it ran all the way up to 190, from 165 to 190. And right after earnings, it ran up, right? We had a little dip in this area right here. Came down from around 214 and some change, all the way down to 197 and some change. And then it's been running up ever since. Boom. Look at that, right? And here we are, positioned in Prime Week, right? Guess what's happening? Folks are taking gains. And then, when you turn around and you look at what's going on with the news as far as Amazon, right? So let's see. TD Cowen has raised its price target for Amazon to $250 from $240. But what else is going on with Amazon? Right? I was looking at this earlier. They are being investigated. Where was it? Let's see. Here we go. So Canada antitrust watchdog, right? Talking about Amazon in regards to its pricing, right? I'm not going to go in detail about it. You can look at this information when you have time. But nonetheless, is a negative event that's impacting the price of Amazon. Again, understanding what's happening outside so you can make that decision inside, right? And when I was talking to everybody earlier about Amazon, I gave specific price points as where I saw it going, and it beat all of those levels. Crazy, right? But guess what? It's still sitting above the 10 EMA, which is right here. But if it falls below that 216.02, yeah, it's going to come down some more for sure. Right? I anticipate if it falls below that 216.02, I see it coming down to around 211.40, right? But we'll see what happens. We'll see how many people really believe in Prime Week, right? All right, next I'm going to look at Tesla, because like I said earlier, I'm actually in some Tesla calls, and as you can see, all of my levels are already there, right? I'm always setting levels, right? Right, so I do actually plan on holding this, right? So this is why I'm looking at it from a daily perspective. My plan is to take gains on this somewhere around 308.66. But if that momentum keeps running up, guess when I'm going to let it run to 312.28, right? So I'm holding positions out to the 18th, I believe, right? Because Elon, he's facing a ton of drama, right? Especially with him, with this whole political party. The shareholders are talking about ousting him as the CEO. So many different events are taking place under Tesla that it's almost uncertain where Tesla's going to be, right? So, but what I do know, right? So let's look at what the projections are for Tesla for the year, right? Let's see what the forecasts folks are saying, right? So 39 analysts are offering a one-year price forecast of 500. Will Tesla hit 500 in 6 months? Probably not. Probably not. Now, I don't know Oh, wait a second. So as of today, well, I think that actually pertains to the actual price, that information right there. But I'm not sure when analysts actually made this prediction, right? So based on 55 analysts giving stock ratings to Tesla in the past 3 months, right now it's considered neutral, right? But based on technicals, let's go back. So analysts, neutral. Based on the technicals, it's a sell, right? We saw what happened yesterday. I played it. I got into a swing on Thursday, and I took gains on it yesterday and took, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Uh, 368%, just for holding it for a few days, right? And it played right into my hands. So I already knew that Tesla was going to go up today. Because if you look at the history of Tesla, it's one of those companies that one day is down, next day is up. 2 days is down, next day is up. 3 days is down, 2 days is up, right? You just really got to understand how it moves. And this is why I'm always stressing that you find that one ticker that is going to pay you, right? If anybody knows me, that ticker for me is coin, right? So you got to find that one ticker. And I know we like to look at multiple tickers and play multiple tickers, but I don't know about you guys, but my attention span it doesn't work like that. My attention span, I need to focus on one thing, get it done, focus on another thing, get it done, and then especially when it comes to money, right? I need to focus on this, let you pay me, thank you, appreciate that. Now I'm gonna go over here and get paid. All right, thank you, I collect that. Now I'm gonna go over here and get paid, and so on and so forth. That's just how I personally operate. All right. So Lisa, let's see what you said. Man, I had a call that worked. Just missed what you said. So I was in regards to Amazon. So I was talking about how it started actually moving up since April, and then it ran all the way up to 224. But because folks were taking gains because they understood that it was a catalyst event on Prime, it started to come down. And then not only that, Canada is investigating them in regards to, I don't want to say price gouging, but nonetheless, it's something in regards to their prices. Okay, so that's what I was talking about in regards to Amazon. All right. So like I said, I'm in some Tesla call positions, and I plan on riding it up till around 308.93. And if that momentum continues to build, then I'm taking gains around 312.03. Right now, it just needs to break that 305.97. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about why we're here, right? So one of the things, and I'm sure I'm not a stranger to this information, and I hope you guys are not either, but if this is the first time you are hearing it, man, oh man, it's really time for folks to lock in, right? That one big, beautiful bill was officially signed into law on Friday, right? There was a reason why he wanted to have this whole thing processed and on his desk by Independence Day, right? For the sake of showcasing independence, right? What's up, Debbie? Appreciate you tapping in, right? At least that's my perspective on it, right? I could be 100% wrong, but I'm just thinking like, I'm just not thinking like the 99%, right? That's just my thought process with that, right? So it's one thing I'm learning about this administration is like they like to do things in a specific time frame so the information can be shared during a specific time. So I'm gonna say that again. One of the things I'm learning about this administration is like they like to share information within a specific time frame so it can be released at a specific time, right?
But that's just my perspective, right? Um, so let's talk about this big, beautiful bill, right? Now, who is going to be impacted by this, right? Now, there's going to be a handful of people, right? So real quick, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly, right? I may not talk about the ugly so much, or maybe, I don't know. But we're going to start with the good first, right? So who's going to win in this, right? And I'm sure everybody's talking about this over on social media, and I'm no tax professional. Anything I say is definitely not financial advice, but I do watch and read information that is pertaining to my finances and how it's going to impact my family. And if you are trading in this stock market, you should be doing the same thing. And if you are not, I highly, highly, highly suggest you start ASAP, because this specific bill is going to impact every single one of us. I don't care what your status is. If you're a high income earner or if you're a low income earner, it is going to impact your finances, whether it's good or bad, right? I believe that impact is going to start from a negative standpoint somewhere after 2026, 2027, right? This administration is scheduled to roll out. I'm sorry, not roll out. Is supposed to be in office until when? What, 2029? If my math is correct, right? When are the midterms? 2027, right? So I anticipate 2027, 2028, people are going to start feeling the bad part of this bill. Because based on the information I read, we're looking at an additional $5 trillion, with a T, $5 trillion added to the U.S. deficit, right? Just think about this for a second, right? You have a credit card that has a max of $1,000, and somehow, some way, you created something that's going to allow you to spend an additional $1,000, right? How does that even make sense, right? It doesn't make sense at all, but that's what we just did, right? So, who's ultimately going to pay the price for this bill? Our children's children, or maybe even our immediate children, right? Depending on the age group of your kids, right? So for sure, I am and will continue to have these conversations with my kids, because they need to understand what they're getting themselves into, especially when it comes to finances, right? All right, so let's see. All right, so who's going to win in this? So we have the high income earners, right? Because they're going to get those tax breaks, right? Corporations, of course, especially tech and finances, right? Because now they're getting a lower tax burden, right? Because of that, guess what's going to increase their earnings per share, right? So investors, especially if you're investing in infrastructure, defense and in energy, right? Now, I don't know about oil, but, I haven't done any due diligence in regards to how this bill is going to impact oil. But entrepreneurs, right? You are going to benefit as well as real estate developers, right? So if you fall in that category of high income earners, corporations, investors, entrepreneurs, or a real estate developer, then guess what? This is going to work out for you lovely for the next few years if you position yourself accordingly. All right? Now, who's going to take a hit? Low-income families. Again, I'm sure you've already started hearing this information on social media, on the news, and reading it in your local papers, right? So low-income families, especially those relying on SNAP and Medicaid, right? Those clean energy investors, and then also those states trying to regulate AI. Now, let's think about that part for a second, right? AI, everybody is doing any and everything in regards to AI, especially Zuckerberg, right? He's buying up, I don't want to say buying up, but he's starting to employ all of these different individuals from different high market cap companies, right? One individual was receiving like $100 million and then had a couple I don't know if it was a couple hundred more million for bonuses. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really get into the. What's up, Dreamy? Dreamy, appreciate you tapping in. I didn't really get into the numbers of it, but nonetheless. And then I just heard the other day. I was watching. I think I heard the information on Market Monday that they just recruited one of the top AI guys from Apple. Like how quick? Listen, y'all. Listen. I don't know about y'all, but I know what I'm doing, right? And you should be doing it too, right? Whatever it is, right? Because nonetheless, whatever's coming is coming, and there's nothing you can do about it except prepare yourself for it. And I'm not here trying to spook anybody. I just want you to understand and start really paying attention because this is going to impact your family, all right? And your finances, okay? Excuse me. So again, so this is going to impact those low-income families, especially those relying on SNAP and Medicaid, those clean energy, in fact. So that's what I was talking about, those states trying to regulate AI. So with everything happening in the AI space, right, let's think about this for a second. If, let's say you're in New Jersey, right, or Delaware or Virginia, right, and as a state, you're saying in Virginia that anything goes in regards to AI, right? But then when you cross state lines and now you're in Maryland, right? But everything is not going. Everything is not. Those rules don't apply. What's up, Sokka? Appreciate you tapping in. So those same rules don't apply, right? So that part you really need to understand, especially when it comes to the laws that are going to be created in regards to AI, right? This information is going to be based on this bill. All of AI regulations are going to be handled on a state-by-state basis, right? Think about that for a second. Again, you could be in VA, everything could be hunky-dory in VA in regards to AI, but then now you're moving in South Carolina, North Carolina, it's a whole nother ballgame, right? So you really gotta start to get in touch with this information and pay attention to the data because, again, you don't want to position yourself to start doing something that's bringing in income, and then all of a sudden, when that law hits, you can no longer do it, right? So you got to be careful about that, okay? Extremely careful about that, right? Now I'm going to talk about the ugly, right? So, again, the debt, right? We're talking about an additional $5 trillion in debt, right? Who's going to pay for that debt? Our kids' kids, or maybe our kids' kids' kids, right? Tax cuts, right? Because at some point, as much as they trying to lower their taxes now, as much as they trying to, I just lost my train of thought. In the future, right, when all of this really is said and done, and all of those tax cuts really go into effect, who's going to pay for that, right? And then you're going to have all of these regulatory shifts, especially if come 2029 and this administration is no longer the same administration, right? So you really got to think about that, right? And think about all the bubbles, and I really don't like to use this term bubble, but think about all of the bubbles that are going to be created between now and 2026, maybe even as far as 2027, right? Just really think about that. All of this run up there, because everybody's jumping in, right? What do you think is going to happen when people get into their mind, all right, I've been in this for 2-3 years, it's time for me to take gains. It's going to come down. What's up, Kendall? Appreciate you tapping in. It's going to come down. It's almost predictive, right? So you just got to be mindful of that. So, because of the information that I'm researching in regards to what's happening with this one big beautiful bill, there are two tickers that I am looking at specifically, right? And the first ticker, and it's actually a total of 15 tickers that I'm looking at, but I'm only going to cover two, right? Because I highly encourage any and everybody to do their own due diligence and do your own research. And of course, again, this is not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I am only speaking from my perspective and my view of the information that I've shared to help make the decisions that I make, right? So the two that I'm going to share with you, one is relatively cheap, right? And then the other one is it's a little bit more pricier, but nonetheless, it's not expensive, right? Now, there are some expensive ones out there that I'm looking at as well, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to touch on these two for those who may not have a lot of capital, and then for those who may have some additional capital, okay? So the first one I'm going to talk about is ticker ARCC, all right? It's Ares Capital Corporation, all right? This is in the finance sector, okay? Now let's dig a little deep on Ares Capital, okay? So what is Ares Capital? What do they specialize in, right? So Ares Commercial Finance. So Ares Commercial Finance provides asset-based cash flow solutions to small and middle market companies, right? Works with borrowers to deliver creative, flexible, and comprehensive financial solutions, right? So Ares Commercial Finance has the ability to structure and agent deals to support the growth and changing capital needs of clients, right? Their asset-based lines of credit may be structured as working capital financing, bridge financing, turnaround financing, acquisition financing, and debt in possession financing as special accommodation financings, right? So they have a whole plethora of financial products that they will be offering folks, especially companies. What's up, Matthew? What's up, brother? Appreciate you guys tapping in. They have all these different financial products offering solutions to those big cap companies, right? Excuse me. Right? So let's look at what the analysts have forecast for ARCC, right? So 13 analysts are offering a one-year price forecast for a max estimate of $26, right? This is one of those tickers that moves in cents, right? It does not move in dollars, okay? Which is why I like it long term, okay? I'm talking 2+ years, right? And I know a lot of investors out there have a rule where they go a lot longer, and that's okay. Listen, the longer you hold, the better, right? But me personally, my plan is to hold it for a specific time frame and then simply take those gains, right? That's it. What's up, TSA? Appreciate you tapping in, right? So now let's go back and look at the chart. Well, first let's look at some news, right? So, Ares Capital increases credit facility to $5.493 billion. This was 4 days ago, reported by Reuters, right? It's not really much detail on that, but nonetheless, all right, let's look at this one, all right? So they had earnings on the 30th, right? So let's look at what happened for earnings, which was, excuse me, 8 days ago. That's the 30th. Well, as you can see, it's been on a tear since the 30th, right? It's actually been on a tear since the beginning of April, right? I wish I would have did my really done some research on this bill. Actually, I think the bill. I'm trying to think when they started talking about the bill. I think it was March. I think March is when they first started talking about this bill. Maybe even February. I really don't remember. But nonetheless, had I knew and understood what was happening then, I could have got in somewhere around $18 and some change, and now it's sitting up at $22.49, right? So let's look at the 52-week high on this ticker. All right, so ARCC. All right, so the 52-week high is 23.84, right? They're not too far off from the 52-week high. 52-week low, 18.26. Market cap, 15.61 billion, right? Average volume, 4.51 billion, right? Let's look at the volume today, right? 876.70, right? That's how many shares were bought today, right? So that's what that, so if anybody's curious about what this volume means, that is how many shares were processed today, all right? This has nothing to do with options, okay? I'm sorry you guys can't see it on IG. Slide over a little bit more. This has nothing to do with options. Now, of course, if you exercise your option, which one contract was worth 100 shares, then this will impact this number right here, right? But they have earnings in 21 days, right? 21 days. Okay, 21 days they have earnings, right? With an estimate earnings of 0.51. Their last one was 0.53, so they actually missed it, right? But either way, guess what happened? The stock still ran up, right? This is one of the reasons I actually stopped playing earnings, because I kept getting caught out there, right? If you guys are familiar with Ivy Crush, right? What's up, Drew? Appreciate you tapping in. If you guys are familiar with Ivy Crush, I need you to look at what happens when Ivy Crush sets in, right? All right, so real quick, let's look at the seasonal, right? So it's looking good, right? Right? Back in April is when it was down. Here we are in July, and it got some more momentum up until August, to beginning of August, end of July, beginning of August, right? And then it's going to get some more. Then it's going to start coming down again. And of course, this is based off of the seasonals, right? What's up, Miguel? Appreciate you tapping in. What's up, King Vic? What's up, brother? How you doing? Appreciate you tapping in. Right, so, and then the technicals are giving it a buy, and analyst ratings are giving us a strong buy, right? So again, this is something I am watching, right? Let's see what Tesla's real quick. Tesla is okay. Again, this is something I am watching, right? But I need it to come down some more, right? Because I don't want to get it now, because it's not too far off from its 52-week high, right? So I'm gonna need it. I want to see it somewhere around maybe 2163, maybe a little bit further than that, maybe around 2119, right? Because if it's predicted for it to run up to 26, right? At least I want to take advantage of a $6 move, right? Especially if I'm swinging it, right? So again, this is something that I am indeed watching, all right? So in this area here, I'm looking to get in, right? So anywhere between maybe 2163 and 2119, all right? What's up, K-Sin? Appreciate you tapping in, all right? Did you hit that request to join on purpose or by accident, King? Let me know. if you want to come up to the stage and chop it up, you're more than welcome, brother. All right. What's up, Fernie? Appreciate you tapping in. My apologies for. Oh, you just tapped in. Okay, I don't know why I saw that as a different time. But again, so this is one that I am. I do have my eye on, ARCC. All right, and again, this is in the finance sector. All right, and this is something that will be offering a different array of products and services for their clients. Right. All right, so the next one I'm looking at is TRMB. Right, Trimble Inc. Okay. Tesla, where you still at? I might keep falling down to my country. All right, as long as you stay above 301. Let me look at it. I'll look at it afterwards. But, all right, so here's another one, right? Let's see what the 52-week high is. So the 52-week high is 79.46. 52-week low is 48.64. Market cap 18.94 billion. Right. All right. So let's look at and see what Trimble is all about. Okay. So Trimble is it engages in providing advanced positioning, model, and data analytics technologies to connect the digital and physical worlds, enhancing productivity, safety, substantiability, and transparency. Now, if you guys know anything, if you guys have been watching what's been going on in the world, everything has been based off of data. Data centers over here, data centers over there, right? So anything in the data space, I'm all in, right? Why? Because data is the new gold, right? All right, so it operates through the following segments. So AECO, Field Systems and Transportation and Logistics. The AECO segment serves architects, engineers, contractors, and owners through various software and subscription offerings. The Field Systems segment offers hardware and software for customers working in survey and mapping and civil construction. So as far as the transportation and logistics segment, it provides software and subscription offerings to shippers and carriers in North America and Europe. Right? This company was founded in 1978. All right? So where do analysts see this in a year? 83.51. Right? No, I'm sorry. I was looking at that number right there. So I have a max estimate of 88.60, right? And a min of 77 flat, right? And again, this is something I only plan on holding for maybe a year or two, so it can reach that. I'm just looking for an anywhere between a $6 to $10 move, right? That's all I'm looking for. And this is another one of those tickers that moves in cents. All right, it's not like your Amazon and it moves in dollars, or your Tesla and it moves in dollars. This is one of those. It's a slow race with this one. Okay, which is why I only have my mind set on anywhere between a $6 to $10 move, and then I plan on taking gains. Right, and who knows? Maybe I'll excuse me. Maybe I'll buy some shares. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? It depends on how much they are able to take advantage of because of the OBBB. For those not familiar with the acronym, it's the One Big Beautiful Bill. Okay. All right, so let's go back. All right, so what did I say the 52-week high was? What's up, Seafood Cook? Appreciate you tapping in. So the 52-week high is 79.46. 46. Right? It's not too far off. Right? When did it hit that 52-week high? Today. Right? So I'm going to need a 10 to 20% pullback. That's for sure. Right? That is almost for sure. Right? So what I said, 79.46. Let's do 10%. Well, first let's do 20. Right? So I'm going to need it to come down almost $16. Right? So anywhere between $10 to $16, I am looking for this bad boy to come down. Right? So I'm looking probably in this area right here. Right? Just below the 200 EMA. Right? And that 200 EMA is sitting right there at 67.79. Right? So if it falls below that, my entry is somewhere in this area right here. Right? In between, right here. In between 64 and 61. Right? This is where I am looking to get in on TRMB. Okay? Let's see what else I want to talk about in regards to TRMB. I think that was it. Yeah, here we go. Earnings. They have earnings in 23 days, which is July 31st. Okay? They have been on the tear since since the beginning of April, right? Again, another one that's been moving since April, right? Why? Because they understood what was happening with the big, beautiful bill. Yes, I am a little under the weather, Seafood, but nonetheless, I'm here and I'm pushing through, right? Because that's what we do. We still got to get up and we got to do what we got to do, right? That's how I operate. But I appreciate you you asking, brother. Appreciate you asking. All right, so those two tickers. Oh, I'm sorry. Right, so they understood what was coming, right? So because they understood what was coming from a company perspective, what happened? They have positioned themselves to start making some gains, right? Their average volume on a 30-day basis, 1.133. I'm sorry, 1.33. Today's volume is 531.48. Right, so folks are tapping in with this company for sure, right? So, like I said, I needed to come down anywhere between 10 to 20%, and I'm looking to get in anywhere between 64.52 and 61.83, right? And then I'm just gonna simply ride that baby all the way up to 88 and some change, or maybe 86, who knows, right? Tesla, you got it. I actually went over Tesla earlier because I'm actually in some Tesla calls right now. But I will go over Tesla because you asked for it. I got you. Drees, what's up? How you doing, Drees? Appreciate you tapping in. All right, so again, so the two tickers I spoke about in regards to the OBBB is ARCC and TRMB. Those are the two that I will be watching. Of course, I'm waiting for that pullback. And once that pullback hits, then I will be tapping in and riding it out for a year or two, depending on the price of the contracts, number one, and how many I will be able to purchase when I decide to tap in, right? So those are the two. All right, so now I'm going to go over Tesla, okay? Peace and blessings to you as well, Drees. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you tapping in. All right. So, what's up, Nate? Appreciate you tapping in. Let me get some likes, y'all. If you like the information that I just shared with you, let me get some likes. Let me hit those hearts on, hit those hearts on YouTube, and hit those likes on IG. Come on, y'all. If you like this information, if you like it, just like it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know, Nate. You already know, brother. Man, this is what I like. This is what I do, man. Like I really have a passion for this stuff. And if you have tapped in with me in any of the communities that I've been in,
you already know, like the passion is real, and I take this very serious, right? Because my goal is, I just want to see people, win, man. I just want to see people win. You missed me. Oh, all right, cool. I got you. But again, I appreciate you tapping in. That's it. We all winning, right? Right? We all winning. But we got to make sure that we are on the right side of the fence when it all hits the fan, right? And the only way to get there is to prepare yourself for what's coming, right? Very, very important. All right, so give me 2 more tickers, and then I'm gonna get you guys out of here. So right now I'm gonna look at Tesla. So give me 2 more tickers, and then like I said, I'm gonna get you guys out of here. So right now I'm gonna look at Tesla, right? As I said, I am in Tesla leap. Well, I'm not gonna say leap, but really more of a swing out to next Friday. All right, so OSCR will be the next ticker. Now let me write this down. Give me a second, Fernie. I got you. Because I know sometimes the chats can move pretty quick, and I'm horrible at scrolling up. So just being transparent. All right, so first we're looking at Tesla, and then we're gonna look at OSCR. I never heard of that ticker, so that would be interesting to look at. All right, cool. Excuse me. I'm gonna get a drink of water. All right, so as you can see, Fernie, those levels are those levels are already there, man. I'll be lighting up my charts for real, right? All right, so so right now Tesla's sitting at 302. It's just sitting right above 302, right? It needs to break this 304.15 to hit my next level at 305.97, right? We just got that new candle about, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it from a day perspective, right? So it needs to break that 304.15, right? And I have a take profit area at around 308.93. But if that momentum keeps running up, then my plan is to take gains at 312.03. And this is not financial advice, all right? But let's look out even further, all right? So on the 3-day, right, Tesla is still coming up, right? But nonetheless, it is still relatively flat, right? Depending on how well it moves between today and tomorrow, right? Because I'm looking at the 3-day, right? So let's go out to the weekly, right? On the weekly, what really hurt it was yesterday's news when it dropped $21. Man, that was insane. But I took full advantage of it, and made over 360% off of that Tesla play, right? Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, all right, yeah. So it needs to break that 304.15 to see some more upward momentum, and then break 305.97 in order for it to hit my take profit area of 308.93. But if it breaks that and keeps moving, guess where we're going next? 312.03, and then even after that, maybe even 312.72, right? Now, I don't want to talk about the downside because I don't want it to come down, right? But I got to talk about it, right? So right below that 50 EMA, we got that 295.49, right? This is where it opened up today, right? Actually opened up at 291 and some change today. So it's already up. It's already up some dollars, right? Right, no, actually, I'm sorry. Hold on. That's not correct. It opened up at 297. I'm bugging. What am I talking about? Did it open up at 297? Hold on a second. Now I'm tripping. I don't know what you're talking about, Trading View. Hold on a second. Let's see where Tesla opened up today.
Today Tesla opened up at 296.97.
That's what it was. So I don't know what Trader View's talking about. It says open up at 297 flat. But either way, so it did reach a high of today's high is 304.05, right? Tesla's 52-week high is 488.54. But let's real quick, let's see what the analysts are saying. Excuse me. 500. I think I talked about that earlier too, right? Analysts saying by the end of the year they got Tesla at 500. Now, will Tesla hit 500? Probably not, right? With all the negative news that Elon is bringing on himself, this whole political party that he's created or creating, right? And then that in itself is a whole process, right? According to the current administration, additional parties have been attempted in the past, and each and every one of those parties have failed. All right, listen. I'm not heavy into politics, but I do pay attention, right? That's for sure, because I do understand that it is going to impact me and my family. But if Republicans or Democrats have been around for however long they've been around, right? They have this perceived notation that one is for the good and one is for the bad, or maybe one is for the bad and one is for the good, right? But when you look at the overall scheme of things, right? And again, this is just my perspective, and I really didn't mean to go down this political rabbit hole, right? But there's a reason why the party is considered divided, right? So you could be on this side, I could be on this side, or I could be on this side and you could be on that side, for the sake of that continued head banging, or that continued button heads, right? But again, I'm not gonna get too deep on that. But you get what I'm saying though. All right. So again, Tesla needs to go above 304.15 so we can start to see it break up to 305.97. Right. I thought it was gonna keep that run up, but it rejected right there at that 304.15, or maybe 304.04. Right. All right, I got you, Erica. All right, so next I'm going to look at OSCR, and then I'm going to look at SoFi, and then I'm going to let you guys tap out, all right, because I need to get some rest. I am a little bit under the weather, but I'm okay. I'm here. I'm pushing through. So I'm not doing too bad. I'm not doing too bad at all. All right, so again, so I'm going to say that one more time. So if Tesla falls below 295.49, I have all of these additional levels, it's going to have to break to come down to 293.01. But to the upside, it has to break that 304.15 or maybe 304.04, which was today's high. And then that next level was 305.97 and then 308.93. That is my take profit area. But if it keeps pushing, I'm taking gains for sure around 312.03. I'm not even going to play myself, because then at that point, I will definitely be up well over 200%. When it hit 304.15, it was at around 75%. Let's see where it's sitting right now. Give me a second. So right now I'm sitting at 30%, right? Now I could have taken some gains, but again, the plan is to swing this. So I'm just going to do just that, okay? All right, so I hope what I just spoke about in regards to Tesla helps Ferdy. Just let me know in the chat, all right? All right, next we are going to look at OSCR. What's up, Haynes? Appreciate you tapping in. All right, so OSCR. This is Oscar Health. Oh, healthcare services. Okay. Ooh, okay, this is a nice price. All right, let's dig a little deeper. Okay, so what is Oscar Health all about, right? They have a market cap of 3.70 billion, all right? We got 180.17 million shares floating in the universe, all right? That's not bad at all right? So Oscar Health Inc. is a health insurance company which serves its customers through a technology platform. It offers individual and family, small group, and Medicare Advantage plans, and technology platform to others within the provider and payer space. All right, this company was founded in 2012. All right. So now let's see what analysts are talking about. All right, they got it going to 28. Okay, not bad. Right now, based off of that rating, it's sitting at neutral, so it can go either way. Okay. All right, and let's look at the chart. First, let's look at the season. Right. Actually, let's look at the volume. Right. So first off, folks are buying this ticker for sure, right? The average volume is 21.66 million, right? And right now, it's at 20.88 million. So folks are buying OSCR for sure, right? Let's go back and look at it, right? So first, let's look at the 52-week high. List. I like this one. Let's see. The crazy thing, right? So it peaked around 1739, around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, right? So today's high is actually 1746. 52-week high is 2379. 52-week low is 1120. Today's low is 1663, right? Excuse me. All right, let's wait a second. Again, that 52-week high, 2379. So we're sitting at right now. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's see when they started running up, right? Started running up. Let me guess, April. How did I? Something about April, y'all. Something about April. Now I don't know if it has anything to do with the big beautiful bill, but it's something about April when people started buying into companies like these, right? All right. Getting myself stocked up when I can. Absolutely. That is what you got to do for sure. All right, so this thing has been running since April, since the ending of April, right? It was at roughly around 11:21, and of course you can see where we're sitting at today, and it topped out around 18 and some change, right? Well, actually, not 18 some change according to Robinhood. It is 1746, right? All right, let's see. So if we're going to get more momentum, we got to break that 1750 in the bottom of resistance. Resistance is sitting right here at 1827. But if it falls below, and I'm looking at this on the daily, if it falls below, if it falls below 1665, right, then it will be that next level I have right there at 1635. So if it falls below that, then it will be below the 15 EMA. But the top of resistance is right here at 1588, right? So small caps are popping. Yeah, they are. Because why? Because this is 2025 is the year to definitely start tapping in, and this is financial advice, to start tapping in into some of those small cap companies, right? And if you
are looking for a list of small cap companies. If I remember correctly, those are the ones that are on the Dow, or could be the Nasdaq. But I know with the S&P, those are the large cap, if I remember correctly. I could be switching them, but you just have to do your own due diligence on those. But there is a sector. I can't remember if it's the Dow or the Nasdaq or the S&P, but one of the three, it only holds small cap companies. Okay. Again, so it would have to break that 1750 in order to hit that resistance at 1827. Let's zoom out a little bit. Right, same information. It's literally to the T. Right, but if it breaks that 1827, we got the bottom of resistance at 1858. Right, this is one of those tickers that moves. Another one that moves in cents versus dollars. Okay. All right, another one of those tickers that moves in cents versus dollars. All right, like I said, if it falls below 1665, my next level is 1635, and then 1588, and then we got resistance. The top of support at 1551. Right, but because it peaked today, I see it coming down before it decides to head back up. Definitely below $16 for sure. Now, could be wrong, so don't quote me on it, right? I don't own a crystal ball or anything like that, but I'm only telling you what I see, right? So, but it will have to break these levels first, right? Because who knows? It could reject at 1665 again, and then start heading up and break 1750, right? That is a possibility. Okay, but long term, right? Let's zoom out. Right? Again, you got to break that 1750 in order to see any type of upward momentum. But if it breaks that 1588, then you already know where we're going. All right. Let's look at the seasonality. So first off, they have earnings in 30 days, which is August 7th. They beat last earnings. All right. So wow, they actually blew it out. So 0.79 was their estimate. They actually did 0.92, which is a 0.13 difference, right? So now their estimate is actually lower. That's interesting. 0.34. It's in 30 days, August 7th, right? Seasonality looked like it's almost following 2024 to the T, right? Not specifically to the T, but nonetheless, it's starting to come down, and it may start getting some upward momentum somewhere around the middle or the ending of July, right? Peaking at around September, right? And now we're going to run into the September effect, right? And it's going to peak and then come right back down. But based on what was going on in 2023, right, it actually did not come down. It actually ran up at the end of October, leading into December, right? So this may be one of those ones that may just run up unexpectedly, right? So let's look at some news. All right, so Oscar Health posted a new net income of $275.3 million in Q1, right? With a 9% net margin of $3.1 billion in revenue, a 42% year-over-year rise. Wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So, man, why is the stock so low? Probably because nobody's paying attention to it. That would be my guess. Nobody's looking at this, right? But apparently, today, it's almost about to beat its average. So expect the new average up and coming if this passed 2166. Right now it's at 2124. So folks are definitely buying this. That's for sure. That is for sure, right? All right, so I hope that helps, Nate. What's up, Debbie? How am I doing? I'm doing well. A little under the weather, but I'm pushing, right? I am pushing. You guys have been giving me the energy to push through, and I appreciate that, right? All right, so speaking of energy, let me get an energy check. How's everybody feeling, right? If you are feeling amazing, and especially if you like this information, right? So asking my profit target is $30 near future. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, King Vic. That's not bad at all. But how's everybody feeling? If you are feeling amazing, let me get some ones in the chat. Let me get those ones in the chat. Come on, I need this energy, y'all. I need this energy. I need to push through so I can look at SoFi for Erica. Come on, let me get these ones. Let me see those ones. Come on, everybody on YouTube, everybody on IG, let me see those ones. Give me that energy. Come on. Come on. Hit that one, that number one on your phone or your tablet or your desktop. Let me get those ones. Come on, y'all. Come on, let me see those ones if you are feeling amazing. All right? Come on. All right? SoFi. Woo-wee. SoFi. Now, I was talking with a really good friend of mine about SoFi earlier, man. And man, she is cooking. She is cooking on this, y'all. Man, and she's an elite out to 2026, right? And I was talking to her earlier, and she definitely took some gains today. Right, she bought a nice amount of contracts, and she took some gains today. This thing has been on a tear. I don't want to say. Let's see how far back. Let's say maybe April again. Another April, baby. Since the beginning of April. SoFi is my girl. She's been good to me. Oh, listen, bro. I dig it, man. What's up, Two Cheese? Appreciate you tapping in. Right? SoFi has been making a lot of people happy lately, as you can see. Right? It's been on, like I said, been on the tear since April. Right? Again, probably another one of those big, beautiful bill babies. Right? There's just something about April. Folks have been tapping in since April, and they've been holding their position. And if you got in at April, you got in around $8 and some change. Imagine if that was your strike price. Oh my gosh. What's up, Drinks? Appreciate you tapping in. Imagine if $8 was your strike price, and right now you're sitting above $20. Man, listen. Right? It peaked above $250 today. Right? All right, so let's talk some numbers on SoFi. All right. So in order for SoFi to continue that upward momentum, it's going to have to go above at 2089. So what was SoFi's 52-week high? I think it may have been today. That's a relatively high. SoFi. 2089. And I believe that's where I said it needs to break. Yep, 2089. And that's his 52-week high, right? See, again, I keep saying it. We all know what happens when a ticker hits its 52-week high, right? One or two things are going to happen. It is going to break it and go up some more and create another 52-week high, or it is going to come down, right? As we can see, it already started coming down, all right? And we got just under, just over 3 hours left for the market today, right? Just under 3 hours. Yeah, about 3.5 roughly, right? So now it's starting to come down. Why? Because people are probably just genuinely taking profits, right? But if it falls below roughly 1967, then guess where we're going? We're going to hit the top of support at 1929, right? Now, for those who are day trading this, right? Hopefully you took gains when it ran up, but otherwise, if it comes out of it comes out of support at 1774, then guess where it's going, right? It's going to continue that downward momentum, right? Because this thing has been running up since April, right? Almost 3 months, right? So at some point it just has to cool off, right? That's just like it's like it's just natural, right? So it's gonna have to cool off, right? But again, if it breaks 280, 89, right? Let's zoom out. Let's go to the weekly. Sitting right there still, right? At 280.89, we have the bottom of resistance at 21.84, right? So, but it has to break that in order to hit that. That would be another ATH, all-time high, right? But now, of course, if we talk about the up, we definitely have to talk about the down, right? So on the weekly, it needs to break to the downside, 1842, all right? And if it breaks that, you're going to see that 1774, okay? So I hope that information helps you, Erica. Please let me know in the chat if there's anything additional you want me to speak to in regards to SoFi, okay? I just got that alert. You see it right there, right? SoFi is crossing 1967, right? It's going to come down, right? So it breaks that. That next level is 1842, okay? So you got to be careful with that, all right? What else? King, I know there was one you asked me to look at too. What was it? DPRO. Dragonfly Inc. Okay. This thing has been falling. Man. What happened? Wait. Man, what made you look at this ticker, brother? Gosh. This thing has been falling since Jesus Christ. This thing peaked at 416 and some change. Wait. I don't know what it strapped itself to, or what type of trouble it got into before it would be at that high, and now sitting. This thing is like a penny stock almost, or is. And I hope the reason why you ain't looking at this, brother, is because you saw that where it came from. I hope that's not the case, and you buying it with the anticipation of it hitting above 400 again. What's up, Constance? Appreciate you tapping in. But man, I don't even know what to say about this thing, brother. But I'm gonna push it, right? So first, let me go to the daily, right? All right. So if it breaks 365, we got the bottom of resistance at 383. But if it falls, right? If it falls below 340, then we got the top of support at 324. Again, this is one of those tickers that moves in cents versus dollars, okay? Excuse me. All right. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at the weekly. All right. Again, those levels are still pretty much sitting right at the same area. But if it breaks, again, that 365 and then that 383, we got just above $4 at the bottom of resistance, right? But if it falls below 311, and then even 294, and it's going to be hitting at 272. All right, man. Let's go a little deeper. What is Dragonfly Inc., right? Let's see, market cap 18.91 million. Net income negative. Right, so they owe some people some money, right? So Dragonfly engages in the manufacture and sale of commercial unmanned aerial vehicles, vehicle systems, and software serving the public safety, agriculture, industrial inspection, security, mapping, and surveying markets. Its products include quadcopters, fixed-wing aircrafts, ground-based robots, handheld controllers, and software used for tracking, live streaming, and data collection. Right, the firm also offers custom engineering, training, simulation, consulting, as well as data and flight training services. Interesting. Unmanned drones in Canada. Unmanned drones, but in Canada. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Wow. So let's see what analysts are saying about this thing. So they have it going to 7-Eleven in a year, right? It's got a strong buy based on the ratings, right? They have earnings in 35 days, right? Which is August 12th, right? Seasonality, right? I don't know, based on seasonality, it may start coming down some more, right? If they are following the 2024 trend as well as the 2023, right? And I know, even though they may fall in the consumer durables or motor vehicle space, right? Considering they are dealing with drones and they're just unmanned vehicles, right? Who knows? They may eventually get themselves in the defense sector. But we already know there are some big players in that space, so these guys may just get gobbled up, right? So who knows? But that's a very valid point right there, Debbie. It may be a target for acquisition, right? It would only make sense at this point, especially since at some point they were sitting above $400, and now they're at $3.48. So that makes perfect sense, right? Yeah. Let's look at their market cap again. Oh yeah, somebody could easily pick that up. Easy. Probably offer them maybe 25 mil, 30 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil, maybe even 100 mil, right? And then turn it all the way around. That's for sure. That's for sure. Been in business since 98. Man. Yep, I think we saw that too. Yep. Been in business since 98. All right. I don't know, brother. I definitely wish you the best on this one. Because the fact that it's been dropping ever since, I didn't look at the exact date, but that's a pretty hard drop, man. That's crazy. Let's look at it from a monthly perspective. That is crazy. When did they IPO? They IPO'd in 2019. They IPO'd in 2019 and peaked around 2021. Maybe it has something to do with the previous administration, which caused them to peak up so much. But that January 2021, they ran up. Man, oh man, they must have saw the plug or something. And then when they hit that spot, they got raided. Man, that joke was like a roller coaster. It hit its peak and just free fell. Man. So that was in January of 2021. They spent the next 4 years just falling. That is crazy. That is crazy. So, King Vic, I hope this works out for you, brother. I know you do have an eye for great things. So that part I'm not even worried about. I know you got this for sure, brother. All right, so I'm going to look at one more, and then we're going to get out of here, right? Because I really need to get some rest, guys. So I got you, Debbie. SMR.
right? So SMR is which is New Scale Power Corporation. I've actually looked at these guys in the past. Let's go. All right, so New Scale has been on the move since the middle of May, beginning of May, roughly around the middle of May, right? And they've been running, and they peaked at around 45 and some change. Right now, they're sitting at 35.55. Let's look at the 52-week high. I do remember SMR. I'm not sure if I played them in the past, but I do remember this ticker. So today's high is 37.05, 52-week high at 45.31. Today's low is 35.04. 52-week low is 6.88. Gosh. So they are literally up 176% within the last 12 months. All right, year to date, they're up 91%. Right. So if you got in this at the beginning of 2025, then you will be up 91% on your shares. That's pretty amazing, right? That's absolutely amazing, right? Same as Oklo. Absolutely amazing, right? So maybe that's why I looked at it, because it's in the same space as Oklo. All right, so on the daily, right, it has to break just above 37.52, and we got the bottom of resistance at 39.09. But if it falls below 35, it's some change, right? We got some more levels it needs to break in order to hit the top of support at 33.20, right? All right, so I'm going to say that again. If it breaks 37.57, we got the bottom of resistance at 39.09, right? And we got some more areas of opportunity up here, which is going to bring it to its 52-week high. But what goes up must come down, right? So if it peaked around June, the middle of June, right, and it started coming down, right, it just has to simply cool off. Why? Because folks are taking gains, right? Just imagine if you were in a leap back in not a leap, a swing back in May, right, the beginning of May. You took gains right here, right, which is why we saw that dip, right, and then people started to buy it again. So you know what? I'm going to take some more gains. And we came right back down, right? But right now it's sitting at a critical level, right, where it can go either way, all right? Looking at it from a daily perspective, right? So this area right here, it can go either way, all right? So let's zoom out. Let's see what it's saying on the 3-day, all right? Same numbers, right? Got to break 37.52 and then 39.09 in order for it to hit some more upside at 39.92. Again, but if it falls below 35.04, then we hit it 33.98, then 33.20, right? What's up, The Real? Appreciate you tapping in, right? Let's go further out. Let's look at it from a weekly perspective. Again, same information, right? Literally, like to the T, right? To the T. All right. All right. So I hope this helps Debbie. Was it Debbie or was it Trees? I'm sorry, Debbie. All right, I got you. There we go. So I hope that perspective helps you, Trees, for sure. All right. So you are welcome, Erica. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tapping in. Right, it really, really means a lot. And I definitely appreciate you guys getting me through today, because the energy was definitely there, and you helped push me forward. Right, because I told myself I definitely need to tap in with you guys on the live for sure. I am committed to these Tuesdays and Thursdays to give you guys a lot of information.
right? And for those who just now tapping in, we covered a handful of things today, and one of the things we definitely talked about was the OBBB, and one beautiful, one big beautiful bill, right? Based off of the tickers that we have been looking at, we have definitely concluded, or at least I've concluded, that this OBBB has definitely created a few big beautiful babies. That is for sure, because April seems to have been the month to tap in to take advantage of everything that's coming, for sure, right? So we looked at a handful of tickers today. SMR. What was the other one? DRPO. All right, so we looked at Tesla. We also looked at Amazon. So we looked at Amazon, DRPO, ARCC. So the two tickers that I'm personally watching in regards to the big beautiful bill is ARCC and TRMB. We also went over OSCR. We also went over SoFi, right? So we went over a handful of tickers today, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tickers today we went over, right? So it's OSCAR. Is it that way? Did I go over the wrong ticker? OSCAR. Oh no, it's OSCR. Yeah, so that was right. We went over. We did go over Oscar Debbie. So OSCR, that was the one in the healthcare space. All right. So, I said, wait, I think I'm confusing myself. Yeah. So we did go over OSCR. That was the one that's in the healthcare space, right? Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure if what you were saying. All right. So again, we went over ARCC, DRPO, Tesla, TSLA, OSCR, SMR, as well as SoFi. We also went over Amazon too. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me. Thank you. All right. So those are the tickets that we went over today. All right. So I think it was 8 tickets total. Right. Amazon. AMZN. Where's Amazon sitting right now? As a matter of fact. Okay. So they go back up. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, y'all. So, man, how can I forget? I am tripping. How can I forget this part? Right? So, for those of you who are still tapped in, right, I have announced that I will be doing another stock market boot camp. Okay? For those of you who have missed the first one, which took place about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, right? You now have another opportunity, right? If you are indeed interested, what's up, Dante? Appreciate you tapping in. If you are indeed interested, let me put this on Tesla because I'm watching Tesla because I'm in some swings on Tesla. Let's get the Tesla back on the screen. If you are indeed interested, right? Just simply DM me the word next. Okay? If you are interested in the stock market boot camp part 2, DM me the word next. That is NEXT. All right? Or if you just want to simply put it in the chat, right? NEXT, the stock market boot camp part 2. Man, oh man, I am super excited about this one because we cooked on the first one, right? And there's some newer information I will be adding to part 2, right? Because we have a lot of things that have taken place since we finished part 1. So I will be updating part 2 with some new information. right? So if you are interested, like I said, just DM, or you can just simply put it in the chat, the word next. I will be sending out the link, right? This link is not posted in my bio, right? So you will not find it there, right? So you have to DM me or put it in the chat, and I'll add you to the waiting list. But I will be dropping the link.
What's up, Trade? Appreciate you tapping in. Thanks, brother. Bless you and your family. You are a treasure. Thank you, Debbie. I truly, truly appreciate your kind words. Right? This is why I do it. I do it so I can have impact. Right? It's impact over everything for me. Right? You already know how passionate I am about this. Right? So I appreciate you tapping in with me. But again, just DM me the word next. Excuse me. DM me the word next. My apologies, y'all. So you already know I'm not feeling well today, so I apologize for coughing on live. Hold on, get some water. Yeah. So DM me the word next. Stock Market Bootcamp Part 2. I will be dropping the link exclusively to those individuals that are on the waiting list. I will be dropping the link to you on Friday, which is 7/11, right? I will be dropping that link on Friday, 7/11. Okay. The time frame for the boot camp to begin is July 28th through August 1st, right? This is a critical time, everybody, right? We already see what's happening, and if you are just tapping in, I discussed the good, the bad, and the ugly of this one big, beautiful bill, and who it will impact, whether it's positive or negative, right? You gotta make sure you are doing your due diligence on this information, because it is not only going to impact your finances, it is going to impact your family, right? So again, this is definitely something I will be covering in Stock Market Bootcamp Part 2. I am super excited about this, y'all. Super, super duper excited about this. So again, if you are interested, just DM me the word or put it in the chat. NEXT, which is the word next, and you will be added to the waiting list, and I will be dropping the link to you on 7/11, which is Friday. Okay. Make sure you tap in, because this is one you don't want to miss. If you missed Part 1 and we cooked, you already know what's coming for Part 2, or at least you can anticipate what's coming for Part 2. What's up, Kenneth? What's up, White Dub? If you guys are just joining in, I'm gonna just do a real quick recap on what I discussed today, right? So right now I was just discussing Stock Market Bootcamp Part 2, which will start on July 28th and run up until August 1st. All right, if you are interested, just DM me the word next, or put the word next in the chat, and I will let you know that you are on the waiting list, and I will be dropping the link exclusively to you on Friday, which is 7/11. Okay. So again, just to recap what I spoke about today. So I went over about 8 tickers, right? We went over Amazon. We went over ARCC, which is one of the tickers that I'm looking at, which is on my watch list. I needed to drop about 10 to 20% before I actually get in. Then we went over DRPO. We also went over Tesla. We also went over OSCR, SoFi, SMR, and TRMB, another ticker that I am watching, waiting for it to drop, right? So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tickers, right? There's in no specific order,
But again, we went over DRPO, Tesla, OSCR, SMR, ARCC, TRMB, SoFi, and Amazon. Okay? Those are the 8 tickers we covered today. And I will be sharing this live. Okay? Now, Thursday's live, I may not share. All right? It depends on what I go over. But I will be starting preparation for Thursday's live tomorrow. Okay? But nonetheless, today's live I will be sharing. Okay? All right, everybody. Again, if you missed Stock Market Bootcamp Part 1, the opportunity is there again for you to take advantage of Part 2. I'm only doing Part 2 because it has become in demand, right? I want to make sure that I only share this information with you guys when it becomes in demand. Because when I tell you we cooked on Part 1, man, oh man, literally, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the clip that I posted on IG yesterday, but we have a young lady by the name of Myra who took over 400%. Let me say that again. Took over 400% on day 5 based off of the information that was shared with her from day 1, right? I'm telling you guys, right, you need to tap in if you are giving the market your money on a consistent basis, right? It just simply makes sense to invest in yourself, right? At some point, you are going to have to, right? I know there's a lot of free information out there. Want to take the free route, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But you have to understand at some point you have to invest in yourself, right? How do you call yourself an investor if you're not investing in the one thing that matters, and that's you, right? What's up, J Mark? Appreciate you tapping in. Right, you got to invest in yourself, all right? Absolutely critical, especially between 2025, 2026, and 2027. Okay, you got to invest in yourself because I'm telling you, you don't want to get caught out there still trying to figure this out. I'm telling you, you are going to be one of those individuals that are going to be that this new bill is going to have a negative impact on if you don't lock in now. So unfortunately, Kenneth, I do not discuss the price. Right? It's simply put, right? I only talk in percentages. Okay, that's just how I personally operate, right? But I can tell you this: the information that I'm sharing with you in this boot camp, it is way undervalued, and I mean that with my soul, right? If anyone is on here that participated in Part 1. They can tell you, right? It is way undervalued. That is for sure. But I'm not looking to hurt. My goal isn't to hurt people. My goal is to help people, right? But of course, I have to be paid for my time, right? So that is just the perspective on that. Because like I said, this boot camp took me months to put together, right? So when you do see the price, you're going to look at it and you're like, there's no way that this guy is charging this low price. All right, that's for sure. But the only way to get the link is you got to DM me the word next. All right, and I will be dropping the link on Friday to those who are serious. Right, I'm only looking to connect with individuals who are serious, guys. Please, like it's no I don't want people to think that I'm being stuck up or facetious, or there's no malice whatsoever in my heart. I just don't want to waste your time, right? If you know me, I really take it personal when it comes to other people's time, right? Because I want people to respect my time as well, right? So if this is something that you can see yourself investing in, please text me or put in the chat or DM me the word next. If not, that's okay. Right? There's other different avenues you can take to get the information that you feel you can get in order to succeed in this game. But nonetheless, you know, but that's it, y'all. That's it. So again, I appreciate you guys tapping in. It is always a pleasure. I will be back on live on Thursday at 11:15. I'm starting to like going in later because it gives people time, especially those who take lunch at 11 o'clock. I don't want people just simply locking in when they start to get themselves settled. I want to make sure that you are able to get your lunch together or whatever it is you're doing at 11 o'clock, or get yourself situated so you can be comfortable, or just sit back and watch this information, right? But you guys let me know in the chat. What do you guys think of 11:15 versus 11 o'clock? All right, just let me know. Let me know. I appreciate you, Drees. You already know. You already know. It's one thing I take, and that is I take this market very, very serious. Right. This is how. This is how I'm creating generational wealth, and that is I'm letting the market. Because I can sit here and do this and not have a conversation with anybody. But what I realized is having conversations with people, whether it's personal or over Zooms or wherever the conversation takes place, is that there are a lot of people who still don't really understand the market, right? When you look at the market overall as a whole, as 100%, 90% of this game is mindset. And if you don't even understand 90% of this game, how are you going to be able to grasp the 10%, which is emotions and technical analysis, right? Really think about that for a second. If you don't even understand the 90% of this game, how do you expect to get paid off the 10%, right? And you could spend the rest of your lives taking signals, right? And again, this is no hate on individuals. I want to make this very crystal clear, right? There is no hate on individuals who sit back and just take signals. If it works, then do it. I was there, so I understand it. But what I also understood is that how long can I continue waiting for somebody to put information in front of me in order for me to make some money? I just had to tell myself there's no way that I can keep operating like this, right? But again, if time is not on your side, and all you like to do is just wait for people to put those opportunities in front of you, and then you're able to take advantage of it, and it works, kudos to you. Again, there's nothing but love coming from my heart in regards to how anybody plays this game. So I want to make sure that that message is crystal clear, right? Absolutely nothing but love from this side of the fence. So I don't want to hear that somebody heard Neil say something negative about this and something negative about that. Because if you really want to know, you talk to the source, which is me, right? I personally don't play those games, right? So I want to make that crystal clear, right? But what's important to me was obtaining that market independence. It's absolutely fantastic that I can get up every single day and look at my chart and say, hey, I'm getting in right there. Hey, I'm getting out right there. Right? I think that is absolutely phenomenal. Right? And I think at some point, everybody should want that. Right? When we're born into this world, we're taught different things for the sake of us just becoming independent, right? Why would you not want the same thing in the stock market, right? So again, let me make it crystal clear, because I know how this works. People run back and say, oh, Neil said that, and Neil said this. Nah, Neil didn't say that. What Neil said was, it's important to, at some point, establish your market independence. What Neil said was that if signals is what you like to take, then take them. I've been there. I used to do it all the time. right? And I apologize for going on a rant, but again, I know how this whole thing works, right? When people start talking, one person to tell one person, then that person tell another, then this person tells another, and by the time the last person hears it, they was talking smack about you. I never understood that telephone pole. I mean that telephone line, right? But that's just how communication works, right? Something always gets lost in translation from one person to the next, right? So, again, y'all, that's it. That's it for me, y'all. I really need to get some rest. So again, I appreciate you guys for tapping in, and you guys remember to protect your capital. It is the only way you're going to be able to trade tomorrow. All right. So 11 works for you. You prefer earlier times. Okay. Well, unfortunately, going earlier than 11 does not work for me because I have a lot going on. Besides me doing my own personal trades up until that point. But I'm sorry I'm sorry. I'm sure there'll be some days where I'll just keep toggling in between 11 and 11:15, right? Because again, I want to make sure that any and everybody that's on is able to tap in and get this information, right? Because it is valuable information, and I don't post all of the lives all of the time. All right. So with that said, thank you, Myra. You already know I'm passionate about this for sure. You already know, and I take it personally. Like just the idea of me having a conversation with you and the end result of your success. Come on, like, come on, y'all, come on. I'm not gonna hold you guys any longer. All right. So again, I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Protect your capital. This is the only way you will be able to trade the next day, right? Because if you give all your capital to the market today, guess what you're going to do tomorrow? Absolutely nothing. You've definitely pushed out your opportunities to make money. All right. Oh, I got you, Drees. All right. So until Thursday, I will see you guys at 11:15. All right. I'm gonna lock in with you guys at 11:15. All right. So until then, you guys have an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until then, and again, I'm gonna say it again: protect your capital. All right. I'll see you guys on Thursday.